Clemens, welcome to the Leanpub launch video for Even Better Books with LaTeX, the Agile way in 2023. Streamline your writing process and connect with readers from day one. I was wondering if you could just take a moment to please talk a little bit about yourself and about your book and who it's for.
Yeah, it's a very long title. Amazon already complained about it, and it has a longer story. It is really like a book where I talk about how I write books. And as part of the book, I also share like my materials. Okay, here's also my template. So basically, take my advice, take my technical knowledge, take my template, and create books. And the basic idea really is, okay, hey, I know books are a different unit of knowledge than a blog post, a quick Twitter or X or whatever post. You really have to put some thoughts into it. And I thought about, hey, instead of me writing all the books, I would like to see, hey, why not help others to write their books, publish their books, be it like, because it's about LaTeX, and LaTeX is mostly for scientists. So it's not so much for nonfiction books, but you can use it for anything. And there I really think, hey, originally, I wanted to be more like a scientist, but I could also simply help other scientists write their books, write their maybe also novels, write their documents, and that is really the goal. And it's called Even Better Books because I really want to start with a series. So I had one previously, but I now decided, okay, technology is changing that fast. I actually have to release it every year because every year a lot of things changed. Last year, I thought, hey, okay, that could actually be the last book. Maybe I do some changes with the template and update some knowledge or so, but I already planned for next year to include like ChatGPT to also help like students and with their formats, and also what I learned more about project management. That is really my goal.
Yeah, no, it's really great. It's really fun. It's really practical. It's interesting, LaTeX, for anyone sort of listening who's not familiar with it.
Right.
If you're thinking of writing a book and you really want to think about the formatting, LaTeX is a really fun journey to go down. If you're a completionist, I guess, in gamer talk, LaTeX is a pretty fun format. And I was just wondering if you could take a moment to talk a little bit about yourself and what you do professionally.
Yeah, so originally I coming from software architecture, and I studied organic computing. That's basically about, hey, how can I solve a problem step by step? And both kind of combined in my professional life. So I became eventually like project manager / agile coach. And since 2016, I'm actually working as an agile coach and talking about how can we solve something really in smaller steps instead of like getting that huge project ongoing with planning and planning the next few years. And that really reminded me of what I'm doing or we're doing as a hobby, writing books, because that's also like a relatively huge project, but it's kind of more manageable compared to like a software project. And eventually, so, okay, hey, I'm writing these philosophy books. I could actually apply what I learned professionally with my own writing and release individual chapters. And that worked quite well until I thought, hey, why not share it? Why not tell others about it, tell my knowledge about it? I kind of think I'm still learning what writing is, how to write better, how to improve the process, but I'm pretty far on the road regarding the whole technical part and how to actually write it. And I'm actually not writing in Word. I have like bad experiences with Word. You add one image and everything changes, and I think that is the main advantage simply of LaTeX. You can do late game changes basically to the entire document and still survive it.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You're bringing back kind of traumatic memories for me. I mean, I wrote a whole doctoral thesis in Word in my world Microsoft Word is the only way to write anything. And now when I open it up, it makes me cry. It actually makes me sad to use Microsoft Word. But again, I know what it's like to live in the world. But for example, when I actually had to print my doctoral thesis, I had to split it into 5 files just to take it to the printer so they could do it because it wouldn't open anymore. And it was like my book had no images in it. And so things like LaTeX are just like learning about LaTeX is just so useful, especially if you're thinking of writing. If in your world you're going to be writing more than one book, learning LaTeX and things like that is really important. And one thing I wanted to mention is that your book actually goes into great detail for people. For example, if you're writing a book and you're like in LaTeX, maybe a scientific book or a management book or something like that, you eventually want to get to Amazon. You actually talk about that, about like specifically about like converting EPUB to KPF in the Kindle preview and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there are a lot of tools out there. You can like spend a week online and search, okay, then I have to click here, then the format has to fit. Then for the EPUB conversion, then you have to do this and this and that. And I'm a great fan like of automation. Like I really want to have one source file where I can edit, and then whatever target, be it like EPUB, be it HTML, like you want to copy it on your blog, or you want to publish it on Amazon, you want to publish it on Google, you want to publish it on Leanpub. It's one flow, so it's all done. I'm using like Overleaf as a main editor, but you could probably run it also locally. That's one of my next projects because I get requests in that regard. So you have like one source file. You might have to do some like branches where you say, okay, here for the print edition, here I add a high resolution image, or for the print edition, here's a page break. But in general, it's one project and you compile it, and then you have all the output formats and all the tools are out there. So it's not like I programmed everything. There are tools out there, but you can bind them all together in one template. And what I put on the table is basically to combine everything really from A to Z. I don't like say, okay, I'm writing a book about EPUB. I'm writing a book about, you have your pile of papers, you have your Word document, and you want at the end of the day, at the end of the book, see it on Amazon. And that's basically the contents of the book. So I got some feedback in terms of, hey, it's not like a compendium about LaTeX. It's not explaining every detail of LaTeX. No, my goal with the book is really, okay, to get you from A to Z. Everything else you have to figure out yourself, but you can get your text on those platforms in the right format, with cover, with an index, with glossary, etc. All that is done with that. So that was my goal. And what I also added on top of the technical parts, really the project management parts and the expectation parts. So my biggest insight into the publishing industry was when I published my first book. And it was like the day I looked online, refreshed the page, and there were no sales. I forgot half of the project, namely marketing, thinking about, okay, who's actually reading my book? And that is also a significant part of the book, really to help you find out, why are you writing this book? Are you writing it for yourself, for fame and money, for getting experience, for your CV? And depending on your goal, you have to approach it a little bit differently.
Yeah, that's just to close off. That's such an important point to keep in to make to anyone who's thinking about writing a book. I mean, there's the formatting, there's the formats, there's the where's it going to go, but keeping in mind, why am I doing this? And if the primary reason is because it's just a passion, getting readers is great, but writing it is great too. And getting it out there is great too. And if day one comes and no one's there, you're like most other authors, keep that in mind. And then, if your goal is to get a lot of readers, then marketing is going to be a big part of what your project is, not just writing. If it's for your CV, you know what? It might be very few people actually read it, but if it's a calling card for you as a consultant or something like that, then all the work you put into it, even if very few people read it, it's still there as proof and something that you can draw on to show people like what you know and demonstrate your expertise. Well, Clemens, we could probably talk for a couple of hours. But my goal with these videos is to try and keep them short for people on Instagram and YouTube and wherever. So thank you very much for taking some time out of your evening to do this video. Thank you very much. The book is Even Better Books with LaTeX. Anyone who's interested in writing better books, please get this book.
Yeah, thank you very much. And also thank you for your service for Leanpub, one of the channels.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.